welcome back to another Geek What video. Today I'm taking you over my Ryzen 3 $500 gaming PC build for 2017. This build really is going to smash 1080p in the latest AAA titles medium settings while sustaining well over 60 frames per second. It really is going to be the definition of a modern day console killer, so to speak, with performance in the slightly older, more popular games such as CSGO, World of Warcraft, League of Legends being really impressive, sustaining over 100 frames per second in some cases. So let's jump in with the CPU I chose and why. The processor I opted for is Ryzen 3's 1200. It's the more budget-oriented bottom-end Ryzen 3 option with a clock speed of 3.1 GHz and a boost clock speed of 3.4. It's a quad-core CPU which beats anything on Intel's current Kaby Lake i3 lineup and has a very efficient power TDP of 65 watts. The fact that it's quad-core is going to maintain compatibility with the latest AAA titles, and this chip is also overclockable, although I've gone for a more budget-friendly motherboard which will prevent any overclocking in this system. Talking of such motherboard, Asus's Prime A320M-K is a successor to their A68HM-K that I've used in many a build previously. At around $60 with that AM full socket, has all the features we need, such as 2 RAM DIMM slots. It's also got a PCI Gen 3 lane for our graphics card to get full bandwidth, and good I/O connectivity with USB 3 on board. In terms of memory, I opted for Crucial's Ballistix Sport Kit, a 18GB DIMM clocked at a 2400 MHz speed, which can of course be overclocked using XMP in the motherboard's BIOS. Crucial were kind enough to send me 64GB of RAM for a recent Ryzen 7 X370 build, which you can check out in the cards section now, and I've been nothing short of impressed. From its great colour neutral design to its good, consistent and efficient performance, it's a perfect option at a relatively good price point, given a global VNAND flash, which explains recent price hikes in memory options. In terms of storage, I went for a 1TB hard drive. There is no room in this budget for an SSD, and it's not going to greatly impact on any frame rates anyway. A 1TB hard drive gives you 1000GB of capacity for your movies, music, Steam library, games, all that good stuff, and you can either go for Seagate Barracuda as I've done because it's slightly cheaper, or Western Digital's Caviar Blue in a 1TB flavour. In terms of the GPU, there's only really one option in this build, the GTX 1050 Ti. It's got a 4GB frame buffer allowing you to crank up textures and ambient occlusion slightly. It's also a very cool running card and boasts all the advantages of NVIDIA's GeForce experience, such as automatically optimizing all your games. It runs very cool. You can use the card's built-in H.265 encoder to easily stream and record gameplay. So for any budding YouTubers, this could be a great budget option to make videos. In terms of the case that I went for in this build, I kept it nice and cheap with a case I've used many times in the past and been very impressed with. Thermaltake's Versa H15 is a micro ATX mid-tower, meaning it's nice and small, pretty compact, whilst giving us some good airflow options. It's got good drive mounting options, you can get it with or without a window, and like everything, I'll leave all the different versions in the description below for Amazon and other retailers in a range of regions. Finally, the last item on this list is the power supply. EVGA's 430W 80+ certified unit is something I've used previously many times and never had a problem with. You want to go for a power supply that has an 80+ rating, as this one does. You want a power supply from a reputable manufacturer with a good warranty, because you do have to put a lot of trust in your power supply, and you also want to make sure that the unit you go for isn't completely overkill but has enough wattage to provide for your system. This build at 100% load only consumes around about 235 watts, meaning 430 watts, even with different efficiency wattage removal, shall we say, has more than enough headroom. You could step up to the 500 watt version, but it's really not necessary. And that wraps it up for my $500 Ryzen 3 build for 2017. If you enjoyed this video, do smash that like button and make sure to subscribe for more content like this. Check out my review content on the end card, which is coming up nicely on screen now. Do drop me a follow on Twitter at GeekAWhat if you so desire. But as always, we'll see you in the next GeekAWhat video.